Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. You join me at a time when the world is going to heck in a handbag. I am based in the UK and things are just beginning to ramp up here. Many businesses have closed, pretty much all events and social gatherings have been cancelled, and supermarkets have ran out of toilet roll. I think the next stage is cats and dogs living in harmony. Safe to say, pretty scary times, but here at Always Bored, Never Boring, I am going to do my very best to continue as always, at least for the foreseeable future. I hope that as I put out these videos, they offer a few minutes of diversion from what is otherwise a pretty dire time. I am going to take this opportunity, of course, to say to anybody watching this video, please take care of yourselves and take care of anybody you know who is in a vulnerable position. Public service announcement over. We're going to get to what I want to talk about today, which is Warhammer 40,000 Conquest issue 73. We are getting close to the end of our subscription. There are only 80 issues in the run, so close to being finished. And if you don't know what Warhammer 40,000 Conquest is, it's a weekly Partworks magazine introducing people to the world of Warhammer 40,000. And normally, with the magazine, you get some plastic miniatures. However, with this particular issue, we get some paint. One of the paints is Nurgle's Rot. The other paint is Nihilakh Oxide, or Nihilakh. So here's the thing, on the whole, Warhammer 40,000 Conquest represents pretty good value. Each issue is $7.99, and quite often the products that you get with the magazine are worth significantly more than that. Sometimes you can get character miniatures that are worth like 25 quid. It's a bargain, and over the course of the whole subscription, there has been a pretty decent saving overall compared to retail. However, every now and again we get one of these issues where they chuck in a couple of pots of paint and call it a day, and these individual issues are not good value unless you value the magazine itself very highly, because Nihilakh Oxide and Nurgle's Rot retail for $2.75 each, which means total cost there of paints at retail is £5.50, which means we're overspending by £2.49 if we buy this magazine compared to buying the paints at retail. It all evens out in the wash, and overall the subscription is good value. It is worth noting that these are actually technical paints, and if you exclude Astrogranite, a texture paint, these are basically the first technical paints we have had. And I believe this is also the last paints we are going to be getting. Everything else is going to be plastic bits and bobs to round out our collection as we rush towards issue 80. So I guess the paints in question are pretty useful. Nihilakh Oxide is used for weathering, it's for representing verdigris, and Nurgle's Rot puts a nice gloopy green finish on any pustulant boils and globs of slime and things like that. To be perfectly honest, I don't like Nihilakh Oxide. Whenever I've seen it used, I just don't like the look of it. It's not something I'm probably going to use. It would probably be one of the paints that is at the very, 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 very bottom of list of paints that I would buy. Nurgle's Rot, I will probably get a bit more use out of. But that aside, let's have a quick look at the magazine. As always, we will be starting with our fluff section, and this time we're talking about Imperial Knights. So there's a couple of pages on that, a little bit on the actual pilots, some named characters from the lore, some nicely painted miniatures, humongous miniatures, bigatures. That's quite cool. There's actually a miniature of one of the pilots there. Sir Hector, wearing his half-armoured body glove. Then we've got a little bit on Space Marine Codex Heraldry. This is useful for painting, as well as obviously background information, but particularly useful to have these sort of diagrams that show the helmets, the knee pads, the shoulder pads. So if you want to get your painting accurate, very useful. A couple of pages of that, and then we are into information on Space Marine Infiltrators and Incursors, and some more named characters over here. Brother Goriel. I'm sure one of the Terminators in Space Hulk was called Brother Goriel. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was something similar. And then we're into painting stuff again. Obviously no miniatures with this particular issue, so we don't have any building instructions. We've gone straight to painting. And we're not even painting with our new technical paints. We're actually painting with Rakarth Flesh, doing highlights on Steel Legion Drab by the looks of it. Finishing touches on miniatures that we've already been doing to a certain degree. Oh, and here we go. And here's our weathering our bronze with Nihilakh Oxide. Nihilakh Oxide can create verdigris, corrosion that builds on some metals. This paint is thin, so you can apply it straight from the pot if you are careful. And you can see that they've applied it there to the bell and things. And I don't know, it's a personal thing. I'm sure some people will think that looks really good, but I do not. I just don't like it. They've also used Nihilakh Oxide on the smoke effects down here, and that's something I may well try because I do actually like that a lot more. For me, that's something that I'm more likely to try. And then over here we've got Slime, Pus and Plasma. Oh, and there's a little bit on painting red plasma. They've done blue plasma before with the plasma reactors and things, so now we're doing red. It's just fine. It really does feel like the magazine's getting to the stage where it's winding down. It's filling out your last few bits of knowledge that you need. It's like, oh, this is how you do a red plasma instead of a blue. This is how you do a little bit of smoke. This is how you put the last finishing touches on corroded armor. It just really does feel like it's just finishing things off, which is understandable, really. And then there's some cool completed Death Guard stuff. They've done the front and back so you can see whether you've done it right. And then we go into new rules. We've got new Space Marine stratagems. This is cool. They've given quite a few stratagems now over the course of the magazine. Way more than you get in the 40k rules book. So that's pretty good that they've done that. We've got quite a few stratagems. Those are for the Space Marines, and then over the page we've got some for Death Guard. So that's neato. I'm not going to go through those in any detail, but yeah, it looks like quite a selection of them, which is good. And then we are into a new scenario, Wasteland Ambush. It's a convoy ambush. The Death Guard have prepared a deadly trap for the Ultramarines and are lying in wait for a passing convoy. They hope to catch their enemy unawares and destroy them utterly before they can escape or call in reinforcements to mount a counterattack. So you've got the Space Marines in a convoy here. You've got Death Guard in a pincer formation, deploying to the battlefield. Armies must be battle forged and can be up to power rating 50. Victory conditions are Space Marine units that move off the battlefield have escaped, even if only a single model moved off the battle mat. At the end of the battle, the Space Marine player adds up the power level of the escaped units. If this totals 15 or more, the Space Marine player is victorious. That's cool. That's interesting. A little bit different to the objective grabs that they do quite often in this magazine. Good to see something a little bit different. But that's it. That's everything in this magazine. So we will take a quick look at what is coming up next. So in issue 74, we will be getting our Death Guard Tallyman. And then, this is pretty cool. In issue 75, we're getting a repulsor. No, not really. We're getting the first part of a repulsor. This repulsor actually covers 4 issues. It goes from 75 to 78. So that's what we'll be getting over the next 4 issues. And then, I believe, issues 79 and 80 have more terrain to round out the Sector Mechanicus terrain that they have been providing, and then that is that. Game over. All done. But there we go. That's it. That's our issue 73. What I'm going to do is what I always do in these videos is I'm going to do a little running total. It is the price of subscribing to the magazine at the cover price versus the price of purchasing all the products that have come with the magazine at full retail price from a Warhammer store. So I'm not taking into account online discounts, but I'm also not taking into account the value of the magazine itself or any subscriber benefits. And hopefully some people will find that useful. But that is it from me for now. Thank you for watching. If you have liked the video, please consider pressing that like button. If you really liked the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. Look after yourself, look after each other, be good to each other, be awesome and excellent, and hopefully I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.